Good morning, or whatever it is, wherever you are. I think we're actually just about done here. Alright, so I've got a couple little improvements I want to make to my list of hostable people. First of all, I've found myself throwing around like new streamer or new-ish a lot. And I'm kind of just using followers as a crutch, which that should be completely automatable. I'm going to have to request that information. I'm going to have to store it somewhere and probably keep a last updated date so that updates occasionally. And then I have to figure out how I work that in appropriately with everything else. So persist actually ends up kind of being the model. Well, the persisted model. And I kind of want to have some place to store it. So we've got a persist, we've got export. I think. It's currently the same type of user. Because I was thinking I might persist that, but not export it. Because that's more transient data, but now I have to have an export user instead of a persist user. Well, it's going to be a maybe. We won't have it in our current data. We need to know when to get it. The other way to do it would be to treat it like events, which, I mean, could have been stored with the user. They're associated with the user ID. And have that just be a completely orthogonal data set. So one of the things I need to know is, am I already going to be fetching some of that information? Because that seems like that might be... Oh, the Twitch site does not like the high contrast color scheme. It also doesn't like this size window. Reference. I think this might just be a user thing. Also, was that in streams? Because we're getting the stream information anyway. No. Wait. Get users. Oh, total views. Oh. I don't know. View count is really not a useful number to me. maybe in relation to some other things, but as an absolute no. Total number of followers. So this is a completely separate request. We have to request followers like limit 0. Oh, maximum number to return so you can get the total. Okay, so that's going to be a completely separate call. I think I might have some stuff to decode this field already. So if I want to store it in a persist user and not in an export user, I would have to have a separate user type. Or I just make it an orthogonal list, in which case the maybe is implicit in existence or not. How is that going to look when I start sorting things? So live streams. Rank stream. We get the users. User for that user ID, which is also an ID lookup, I think. Associated tags, yeah, dict.get. So we're already positioned where we're doing dictionary lookups on a per stream basis. It would be convenient to have that user. And then this might get a little bit more complicated. No, actually, we don't even... Yeah, right now it's just the count there. And then the tags. So that would... I guess that would go into this formula somehow in a similar way to game. So separating the persistence, it's probably going to be easier to have it just as a separate field. Or do I have the same user structure? Encode. Persist P, export E. Nope, list user. List user. So we only have one user exporter right now. Or one serializer, deserializer. And if I started doing, well, Maybe it would come to pass that they would diverge at some other time in the future. But right now, it seems like we should just be adding an extra field here. So we've got, see, so that's the persisted side. Well, so the problem is that I currently have a large data set. I don't want to be doing all of the individual queries to update this information every time we reload until we're in a position to cache that. Dict string of int, I think. Well, no. Because this will change slowly, but it will change. Export user game event. Followers has a count and a last updated. I don't know if the app currently keeps the time. We might have to be able to provide that. Followers, dict, string. So that's going to break all kinds of things. Our encoder needs to do that. Yeah, encoder, so it's always going to write it out. Interesting. We never exposed event. This is not a list of. Probably is going to be a little bit close to this, actually. 2 fields. We're going to have a count. Okay. Let's just be kind of the reverse of this. And a last updated. And a decoder, which, man, I think map 6 is about as far as it goes. Oh, no, we're up to 8 now. We can keep pushing this for a little bit. This is a one of because it may not exist. And that one did have it. And we saw that this was very, very close in format. So we have a count that's an int and a last updated. And then in our main app, we need to, I guess I could go ahead and have how did you not expose event? Oh, it must be piecewise compatible with that. So to start with, we need to have a field. We need to initialize that. Save state needs to pass in, I guess it's, well, we'd probably want to load it as well, but that should be decoder followers. Oh. Map 2, not what I expect. Decoder int, decoder time deposits. Oh, this is decode. No, okay, we are in decode. Count int. This also has to be changed. Encode also needs to import it. Tick string followers. Oh, well, this is awkward because we have like a double plural. It's like the follower count. I guess it has to become follower count instead of followers? Or follower counts? That's a list. What do we call these? Wait. a list, encoding is that, of this. Well, it doesn't need to be a list. It does have to have an encoder. Naming is hard. Decode. So this is going to be a follow count. Wait, do you need... Because you're just dict, and that takes care of that. And then our encoder. And then our main app. Followers. So that's encode. Follow count value, but map needs to be a follow count B? So dict.map transforms the values. We turn that into a pairs, and then object turns that into a JavaScript object. It's failing a dict.map follow count. Which takes follow count to a value. This must be a previous error. Argument is dict string follow count. Follow count. What? What? Oh, that takes the key and the value. I must have had an underscore in my map function before that I didn't notice. Oh. And that has to be defined as a function. Okay, I probably blurred that into the function opening thing. All right, so that will write out an empty list. And we should have the means to persist any data we successfully grab. Actually, I should be able to actually use the Twitch reference for this. The Elm reference. Oh, I don't necessarily have a decoder for the total because that's like meta information. And any pagination I had would have been prototyped. Yeah, so this actually doesn't matter to me. All right, so fetching wise, also we'd have a time. How often do we update time? Anytime we do next host, next request. No, next request should update it often enough to be reasonable. Okay. We want to, well, pretty much anytime we get back a live stream, we're going to be showing it. So that's the only time we would really care about this. So when we get back, a stream, fetch next game batch, right, this is a whole batch of streams, fetch next user stream batch, fetch unknown users, so we would want something like this. So this needs well, this will be the first step, and then we'll also want to check for expirations at some point. Well, we don't have a fetch users by ID. Fetch users by ID URL. What do I do different for unknown users versus user update? Why does a user update persist it? But unknown doesn't. Probably one is I explicitly said I want to add this, so update it. The other is just like, well, it's missing. Hmm. Hmm. Fetch next user batch. When we got it from some sort of persist or import file, we might need to update it. Hmm. Hmm. Maybe this was from ID to username fix-up? Fetch next user stream batch. Pending user streams. Let's streams. Fetch stream, yeah. Where persisted equals true. Maybe it's to manage switchover if we imported a smaller set? Hmm. Oh, this could end up... Well, I mean, technically events could end up recording stuff about unpersisted users too. But it's just considered cached information. So that's the only difference there should be the thing we call when we're done. Well, this can't exist until we have a thing to deal with it, can it? There's... okay, that's videos. We end up calling it follow count. The format of a I'm going to have a custom decoder for this. Because really, all I want is total. So that is going to be... I might even be able to just pass a literal encoder in there. And then the timestamp is going to come from the application. What is a dict.insert? All right, user ID, okay, count. Taking the video, not filtering it. We're mapping each video to a start duration. Dict.insert. Dict.insert. User ID. Count equals count. Last updated equals model.time. Oh, right, because we're still inserting a structure. All right, so this lets us define the function that requests the response with this. But you don't have a decoder yet. Imported JSON decode. JSON decode string. Receive imported. Might just have to have this. Alright, videos, fetch videos. Receive imported. Yeah, fetch users was plural. This only accepts a single person, I think. Yeah, from ID to ID. So there's no batching here. In which case, this is probably about as good of a starting point as any. Fetch followers. Helix. Users follows. I mean, we don't really want any. We'll have to see if that works. And this is who are following. No, wait. Yeah, to ID, who are following the users. User ID. Client ID auth. Decoder we are going to define as response followers. Well, okay, this is something that did some JSON decoding. Really, this is a decoder of int. JSON.decode. No, it's not just that. I took JSON back out of here. It is int, but it is, we just want one field, basically, field. JSON.decode field total with int. All right, that defines functions, nothing calls them, and we still have errors. No, it's decode.decoder of int. And I normally import these in my decoders. GSM. All right, that's compilable. So we have a fetch followers that takes a user ID and gives us... Now we'll have to see if it accepts the first 0, but that might be sufficient for getting a count. So fetch unknown users. Looks like it will do about what we want. So we'll just start with unknown follows and worry about expiration later. Dict.keys model.followers required from streams missing set.diff append requests fetch followers. But this took that one took a list. This one is going to be list.map fetch followers over missing. That compiles. And I think we want to do this in approximately that same place. To get our initial set. That compiles. And this is where, well, errors should show up here, but should possibly test this with a smaller, well, in general, it's a whole bunch of extra requests to do the entire thing. If I make sure we have a recent export, because we're getting to the point where we might be doing a lot of reloading here. We should probably, well, got work, it's not really that, but I don't think I actually have a like reset button. Users I mean, games really shouldn't cause us any trouble. Oh, but my import is actually set up here. So it's actually going to be easier to do it this way after all. Because my editing method has been to do that. Hey, Troomcloom. Alright, so we just reload. There's not going to do anything yet. Alright, so options get, well, follows. The response is bad request. First must be greater than or equal to 1. You know, this is currently the only way I know to get that information. All right. And it appears to be most recent order. Okay, so there's a total. No errors here. I would need debugger to see if that successfully got into the model. Oh, am I persisting the results of this? I mean, there should be enough other, yeah, I am. So actually, oh, I should have done this on a different URL. That probably just erased a bunch of data. Oh well. Followers, count last updated. Okay, so that seems to be storing that. Well, no, I need at least 2 live people to test sort it. Well, that should mostly be straightforward. So we've got to the point where we actually fetch this stuff. Yeah, we're fetching unknown if it's live, and then we'll need to work on updating it later. So in the view, when we do this, we have model. So we might find a user. We might find a follows. And we've got a user for, which is really just a ticked get. But we've got these for everything else. I guess what I could do is go ahead and map this to account. Although nothing else does that, but there are somewhat more multi-purpose. I don't think it's going to matter inside this module. In which case, should I just go ahead and default this to... Well, if it's no, if it's ranking-wise, we have to do something. Maybe dot map dot count. No, user for follows for tags game for maybe user was there. Did I use user twice? I didn't really use user twice. This one actually is kind of long too. Maybe so this could have been an and then. Oh, it might have a score, it might not. What are we doing with this? Probably that. Maybe dot map. So we've got this set up where large numbers are better. But I don't know how I want to weight this. As long as it's relative, it's okay. Just in case it's 0. And actually, isn't there a form similar to that? X over x plus 100. That asymptotically approaches 1. Oh no, I was thinking 1 divided by 1 divided by x. I mean, x is a scaling factor, but I don't want it to be an overriding factor. No, I don't want that. I want more like x plus 1, so it doesn't go to 0. All right, no, when we do want it to be bigger, it's small. And then this is, well, I mean, that's duh. I mean, technically anything would keep it from, let's say, small value, would keep it from ever hitting, yeah, going undefined. At least over the expected range. Or we just do plus 1 and some arbitrary scaling factor, but then that's bigger than we want. That's 2 to asymptotically approaching something that's not 0. I also have to worry about my y range here. Because maybe... No, we want our... We want our intercept to be... Oh, what am I even doing here? Oop, okay, I don't want to do that, but okay. 1 divided by x gives us that basic pattern. We can fudge it to do things like we don't want to deal with 0. And then that sets our maximum value. I think this is still approaching 0. And then what we want to do is move where this happens. Well, that does that. But also moves our starting value, admittedly over extremely small numbers. I don't want it to be that extreme. Is this... Well, that's certainly an interesting little curve. But it flatlines faster. Maybe this would be more like... No, I want that to be more like x divided by 50. X... Wait. No, that did have a significant impact. Well, okay, so if it was just this, then that's equivalent to 100 divided by x. Is it not? It is not. Well, okay, so that intercept is still really close. But it changes our maximum value considerably. Hmm. And then asymptotically approaching 0 as we... Well, I mean, if you're in a 0 run range... That's a... You know, they've got a very, very large range getting compressed into a smaller space. So that might be appropriate. All right, so 2 divided by count divided by 50. Make sure it's not 0, and that actually ends up working out pretty well. But that's not maybe follows, that's follows. So we take the game value. This is effectively 1 over. I was just optimizing things a bit. Times follows. So let's just fully express this. Streamed up viewer count, there's that +1. It makes me wonder if I should be using a similar formula for that one. I did kind of want to tweak how big of an effect that has. Alright, so we've got, probably need to import that. Persist. Count. Maybe int. Oh. Okay, fair enough. Well, I want to be sure we're not doing a division and then it truncates and then doing that. Alright, so there's nothing to sort here. So we pretty much have to go back to a full file. I'm getting a bunch of live streams, so we're updating a bunch of counts. Alright, so the easiest way to remove my manual tagging is to take out the tags themselves. Of course, the followers tend to correlate to viewers. But I was kind of using the follow count manually, so it seemed to make sense to automate that. Hey, Stormy. Okay. And the other thing I was thinking about, well, we've got this. Actually, I should probably deal with expiration. Okay, that was actually pretty easy. I need hostable. Unknown. So this is list stream. So that's missing. Acquired, we made a set just because of that. I should probably make a second function for this for clarity. So known, we don't really care about. Required, we just kind of want to go through the streams. Isn't there... I keep going back to core. It's like a filter map. Filter map. A to maybe. The dictionary lookup will be a maybe. I might be able to go streams list.filter map. I could. Well, no, it's definitely a stream. We can just do stream.userid dict.get stream.userid from model.follows, which is a maybe. So then we'll only have ones where we found something. The next stage is going to be to filter I need to pass user IDs to this, and the follow structure I've defined so far is a dictionary, so that's implied you can't go from that entry back to what you need to fetch. The only point we have that is here. Are there dict filter functions? Update, remove, member get. Apply a function. We could filter the dictionary down to only expired entries. Now that maps. Union, intersect, diff, merge. If we wanted to do members of this, we would actually want to calculate just, well, that would be a list.map, which is exactly this. Then we would have dictionary entries. So if we go to user ID, to, well, it doesn't do a lot for you really, because you can't just go fetch that field. Oh, but that streams. But then we want the dict map where it's in there. Model.follows. Dict.filter. So that gives us the key that we don't care about right now at this stage. The follow count, and we want follow count dot last updated. Man, what can you even do with the POSIX? That's a separate package. Can you directly compare POSIX? Or do I have to go to int to do that? I have to turn it to an int if I want to do anything with it. Well, that's inconvenient. Do I want to calculate that set? Well, if I'm working with the dictionary, I kind of need that. So now you and we expect that to be the smaller number generally, so it should be now minus. And if that is greater than, let's see, auto host delay. So 60, so that's 10 minutes. 60 seconds, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day. Say 90 days? That difference is greater than so I guess I could do an and here rather than iterating twice. It is a little weird that I ignore one field each time. And we want set.member user ID. So that gives us That might have to be let again. Fetch followers over... Well, yeah, for this, we only need... So having gotten that down to the expired ones... I guess we could have instead filtered the streams for member in there. And then this needs to fetch follower. Dix.keys, because we only need the user IDs. I guess I could have actually done that after this pattern. Get it to the keys that are expired. Oh no, because that's not a difference. That is, well, it's still a set operation. Acquired, expired. That gets you a list. And then, I guess it's needed in this case, is... Oh. Except we have to turn it back into a list. That removes the need to do this. Set.toList. Set.intersection required and expired. Is this... No, it's not parentheses. Oh, no, greater than. Oh. Okay, we'll use a less useful name. Set.intersect. Model.followers. All right, fetch expired, fetch unknown. So this won't actually trigger for quite some time. We could set it to something very, very low to see a bunch of stuff go off. Update expired follow counts. Okay. I kind of wanted to do a management mode. I don't know if I'm going to have time for that. wanted to reconsider that. And here I've scrolled all the way out. Wanted to possibly make that less dominant. I could stretch it out in the fashion of the other one. I could do a constant multiplier, just to make it, well, I'd actually want to move it closer to 1, wouldn't I? What does that? Is that... Oh, that... No, because we're at 1. I guess it doesn't really matter if it's 2 to 0 or 1 to 0, as long as we're affecting things comparably. Oh, that's actually making this... Oh. So I was thinking that as 2 to 1, but it's actually sort of making it a bigger factor. So that just makes that like the 0.5 intercept instead of the 1 intercept. It's applied to everything equally. So that does leave that as a slightly stronger influence, but not as strong. I might not want to be increasing on that. Above and below 1 is easy to think of for weight numbers. So we have to be 2 float. Divide by something. Make sure it's not 0. Oh, we're still updating all the follower counts for people who are currently up. Okay, so that's a little bit disconcerting. I think it leaves a little bit more room. It's like this is a game I like. That's a game I like. A little bit more weight for that. And the other sort of manual tweak factors. And maybe I should have some place to update those as... Yeah, okay, I forgot about that. Settable. Follower weight. Other thing I wanted was offline management mode, which I think might be a little bit of a big project for today. Oh, I've actually got two numbers determining that. There's the straight up numerical, and then there's that sort of scaling rate. Hmm. Reduce weight of... Hmm. Yeah, let's try that multiplier. Could get weird with that, but... Alright, I do want to get... Like, the mode wouldn't be hard. Getting the... And I probably need to do a text-only version of this, because... Oftentimes I end up wanting to search in there. Yeah, developing the rendering mode where we can show everybody. We won't have game, we won't have stream, we won't have title. I might leave out schedule just because it would be a space thing. There's like name tags. So I can do offline management. Oh, the other thing it doesn't do is... Science and technology, which is what we're going to be doing right now. And actually, it was actually ended up being halfway decent at keeping that on point, but we'll see how this works. All right, that is updated. I think the next thing I want to do is going to be more than I want to do right now. So that'll be it for now. Get that off for next time. We go to credits. Thanks for the hosts. And let's see, for other programming right now. And then schedule. This is about when I tend to stream. It might get a little bit weird with the time change here. So right now we've got didn't have good schedule information. Looks like Toaster Fuel's working on one of his games. So if you're looking for someplace cool to hang out, that's someplace cool to hang out. Thanks for hanging out with me. Goodbye and until next time.